Well, let's talk about how is our dynamic in our tour. That's very good information to ask. We're very happy. The next week is gonna we have lined up one tour. Me personally, and Rod also is gonna join us the first day in Panama City. I'm gonna be picking everybody at the airport of Tocumen, personally, and that night is gonna be easy because people have different time schedules of their arrivals. Definitely, we're gonna have a beautiful day that's following day in Panama City, which we try to get to show you the best highlights of Panama City, the importance of the city in the country and also in Central America. We get to see the Panama Canal, we get to see Casco Viejo. We're gonna have some lunch in a nice causeway area. Following day, we go to Coronado. We spend some time checking some areas in the potential areas near the ocean, on the Pacific Ocean. We're gonna have some lunch in a resort in Coronado area, and then you can hear some salsa right there. um, and then we go in the afternoon up to the mountains of Valle de Anton. We're gonna spend the afternoon and the evening. We're gonna stay in a very nice hotel in Valle de Anton. Depends of the time, and we always try to be as flexible as possible, always and beneficial to every single participant of the tour. So we have an itinerary, but sometimes we change the timing of few things if we consider is the most benefit for everybody. Um, Very important to remember to remind everyone is this tour is very customized. That's why we love the idea to doing only 10 people tops per group because we wanted to everyone to feel informative, to feel relaxed, to actually have a positive experience, see all the pros and cons of Panama, um, and also to to see it from a different perspective, from a perspective of someone who lives here, for someone actually working tourism here, and to share all the inside what is the word inside scoops?
Yeah, the inside scoop.
The inside scoop of the Panama culture and the Panama finances, what's leading, what has been happening in the last 10 years, or what's going to aim in the next five, because we recently changed also government. So it's exciting times for Panama for sure.
Okay, well, Oscar's gone through the first few days of the tours.
Yeah.
Now that we got a lot more people here, I think we should do an introduction, and you can carry on day 3, where we go.
All right. Where's the camera? This camera is this one or that one?
It's that one right there.
This one right here. Well, my name is Oscar Peña. I'm originated from Colombia. I got here in Boquete or Panama in 2009, August 2009, and I've been involved with tourism since I was living in Costa Rica prior to this. I work in Costa Rica with tourism. I have a lot of experience in customer service and hospitality, and this is my passion to try to be the most positive influence, not just for people that want to come to live here in Panama, but also to want to get to see this part of the world. I am the father of 2 kids. One of them is here with me. So I do have also part of experience as a young expat about some medical situations using local government insurance, let's put it that way. And very happy and very proud that we're pulling this together with my buddy Rod, and we hope to do the best job for you guys and to show you the best of Panama and make you feel like at home and make you feel secure the whole time. That's our main goal. This is very exciting. Before I used to do a lot of the private relocation tours, but only 2-4 people tops at a time. And now I think that we're ready. We have plenty of experience and knowledge to jump to the next scale, but it's still working as a personal because I believe more in the personal or customized service for everybody. Now we're gonna go for the.
I'll probably introduce myself now.
Yes.
What do you think?
Sorry. Sorry.
My name is Rod Larrabee. I'm from Canada originally. almost 8 years ago, I moved to Panama. So I'm a North American expat living down in Panama. I run businesses across Canada and the US, but in the last year and a half, I retired from those, and now I'm running retiring Panama Tours with Oscar. Oscar and I have been working in the tourism business almost since I met him when I first got here. He was the first guide that I had in Panama. So you get the best of both worlds with us. You get a North American expat that really understands what most of you here are going through right now, and you get a Latin American expat that knows the country, knows the culture, knows the people, and is going to be able to share with you what you need to know once you get here. So we went and we were Panama City,
Coronado
Coronado,
Vallenton.
Anton. Then where did we go?
Then the following morning, after a delicious breakfast, we're gonna take a shortcut. We're not gonna drive back all the way to the main highway from we came from Coronado. We're gonna go to Penonome. We're gonna go to Guarare, Chitre, Las Tablas. Stop a quick stop at the beach of Guarare, and they wanna end up in the beautiful town of Pedací. We're gonna spend a night there. We're gonna meet up with some other expect they're friends of us, and there's gonna be a nice hotel waiting for us. Following morning, after breakfast, uh, I forgot to mention, in Pedací is one of the most colonial, like that area of Panama City is where it holds a lot of the culture of Panama. Look, it's Las Tablas, Chitre, Guarare, there's a lot of the culture there. So that's very important to point that out. We will learn about that when we are crossing those paths, those areas. The following day, we're gonna go to Las Lajas. We're gonna spend one night. We're gonna take a little break in the afternoon. We're gonna stay in a beautiful resort. We have swimming pool, safe area to walk to the beach. For those more adventurous, we have option to do some kayaking in the mangrove if the tide also allow us, because we work pretty much with the tide if it's high tide. We're gonna have a private reception. Then after the following day, what day would be six, five,
Then we're
four.
Tuesday, so yeah, five.
Four. Yeah, sorry. And then we go, and in the morning, we're gonna drive from Las Lajas to Boquete. We're trying to aim on the Tuesday so we can be at the Tuesday market. That's one of the most of the highlights for the experience of Boquete. So people get to see other expats in Latin America, and they go to this market. It's very famous because a lot of people go to sell some goods, organic stuff, or souvenirs. Then in the afternoon, we're gonna have a very nice gathering with between participants of the tour, and we're gonna have some guests coming to talk about different stuff like information. We're gonna have some really good lawyers. We're gonna have some people there in the field of insurance. And we're gonna be doing this meeting at Valle Escondido Resort. It's one of the most beautiful resorts or gated communities in Panama. And if may I say, I think it's the number one.
It's the number
That
one.
actually
Latin
put Boquete in the map.
Yeah.
Because I got the privilege to work with the founder, Mr. Samuel Taliaferro, which unfortunately left us years ago, but he left a nice legacy. And the next day we go to Bocan, Cerro Punta.
Mhm.
We're gonna go visit some cool spots so you get to see not just the culture, but also the interesting tourist art and history. And the following day will be done.
Yeah.
Back to the airport.
And we're back to the airport.
Back to the airport in David.
Some of you are going on to other adventures. Some of you are going home, but our tour is very flexible that way. If you want to come early and stay late, we can help you make those arrangements.
Yeah.
So that is our tour. And that is 10 minutes gone by. But now we're going to get into the questions. Now, who's going to start us off? The first thing you want to talk about, maybe your concern about moving to Panama, your questions about Panama, and everything. So let's get some questions. I can unmute you so you can ask. Okay, what's the question? Oh, I'll talk about what do you want to talk about? Healthcare, crime,
Education, for those of you perhaps coming to family.
Hi, do you guys hear me? This is Ian.
Yes, I am.
Hello? Yeah, hi. Can you tell us more about the medical aspect in around Boquete?
Okay, sure. Um, so medical in Panama itself is a two-tiered system. You have the public hospital system, and then you have private hospitals. Now, the public hospital system is very, very inexpensive. Some people just don't even get health insurance and just use it. It's like we're talking $2, $3 to see a doctor. You're talking $20 to fix your broken arm. Stuff like that. Many people prefer to be insured in a private healthcare system. There are many options for that. I can give you my example and some examples of people I know. I pay $108 a month at 55 years old for 100% coverage, like no copay or anything. And I get all the first class medical service that's available in Panama. Up here in Boquete, we don't have a hospital, but it's about 22, 24 minutes away in the city of David. We have an ambulance system here, and we have lots of private doctor's offices. And
We have the firemen,
Yeah.
which they also assist for any emergency, God forbid.
yeah,
And we have a polyclinica, which is a governmental small hospital for the stabilized if
Yeah.
someone occurred to be in an accident. So the public care is very good and affordable. It's just if you don't speak the second language, it might be very challenged, and also the timing. That's the only kind of the public service. But me personally, I have the benefit from the public care here in Panama. My son was born here in the public hospital of Chirica, the Mother and Child's Hospital, and I didn't have insurance. He was a high risk pregnancy because my baby boy is a baby in vitro. So he was born in this hospital. My total bill, believe it or not, for his mom, he spent 5 days in extra care because he was too teeny. He was a little premature baby. My total bill was $100. Yes, the room was share, wasn't luxury, wasn't fancy, but in that situation, when if you someone come here with and happen to have a baby, that's the best option because it has the most sophisticated room for care for the babies.
One other great concern I've had from expats moving here that especially don't know any English. First of all, I highly recommend getting a private insurance because the private hospitals, they'll speak English and you'll get by. But one of the things we don't have here is 911, like you guys in the US and Canada and maybe other European countries are familiar with. And even if we did, you would be speaking to a Spanish operator.
Yeah.
So we have services here in Boquete, like Zion was asking. It's an $80 a year plan that you get a English operator, and you can ask for anything you need. All you need to remember is your house number, and there's a little sign that you put on your front gate to help the respondents find you, because we don't have house addresses here, like you see in North America. So
I guess that will be. Sorry to interrupt, but I guess that would be one of the main frustrations.
Yeah, the main frustration. We don't have house addresses.
Yeah.
We don't. It's just not like you're used to. But they get around this with this great service because when you register, you fill in all your information. You fill in as far as all your medical stuff, even if you have pets and your pet sitter's name, in case you have to be taken over. But I'll reach the phone and say, I need an ambulance. And my number is 1462. Boom, you look after. So and because if you were to phone the ambulance service, they speak Spanish. Very few of them are going to speak English.
Yeah.
So having services like this is just great for expats, and they have them all over, not just here in other communities too, that you can just pay a small fee, and it can be for not just medical. It can be for my water line is broken, the power line is down in my yard, stuff like that. Stuff that where you won't be able to speak when you first get here, probably to the locals. Then it's like having your own personal translator.
However, we have a beautiful thing here in Boquete, the expat community. Like we have so many groups on Facebook that whoever, a lot of people they're not bilingual. They just kind of like comment on Facebook, and everyone is on top. Like power is out, or if you need any situation where you need some help, a lot of people, including ourselves, we always like to comment and give you the best advice, or God forbid something happened. Yeah, I mean, there's the good sense of community in Boquete. I feel pretty grateful that we have such a nice community here in Boquete. And most people, most towns in Panama, Pedacil, Volcan, all the experts they know each other. They have their own groups. Like here in Boquete, we have Boquete News, Community Boquete, Expats in Boquete, and everyone kind of like share any back and forth about some situation when the language barrier can be an issue.
Okay, I'm going to answer this. We're getting a bunch of questions in the chat. Gail is asking about employment opportunities at the International University. Well, first of all, if you're looking for a job in Panama, you're going to have to speak Spanish fluently. If you're looking, most professional jobs are protected in Panama, meaning that foreigners can't have them. Doctors, lawyers, accountants, nurses, professors, stuff like that. If you have a special skill, and I've seen this, I ran a business in Panama City to support one of my US businesses where we needed IT developers, and you have to prove that there's not enough of them in Panama, which there isn't, so it wasn't difficult until I brought in some from some other countries. Now, I also needed them to speak Spanish because my supervisors were Spanish and we're in a Spanish office. Can you think of any job in Panama that you wouldn't have to speak fluent Spanish?
Well, it depends. I mean, for me personally, I work in tourism. Mm-hmm. Tourism will be one area that you don't have to be full bilingual. It all depends which resort or which tour operator, because as long as you have your work permit, as long as you have all the paper and rule, and you have some certifications, if for a specialized, let's say for a guide, mm-hmm. you can work here in Panama. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not a protected job. Not being bilingual, it might not be a total challenge, because most of the tourists that come here to Panama are English speakers. So I know personally several young or even in their 30s, almost 40s, people that work with tourism. They don't speak much Spanish, just the basics, and they're just doing just fine.
At the international school that your son goes to, are there any like foreign English teachers there?
Yes, yeah. There is one foreign teacher, but again, because it's a specialized, right? Because it's a language and it's no native from Panama, so it got certification and then can approve. And of course, because it's a private school, it has chances for that. But in the tourism industry, as long as you have your work permit or the company or resort or is hiring you directly with all the procedures, you're fine.
Okay. What is the weather like November to January, February? Oh, it is whatever you could think it's going to be, mm-hmm. like from November to January. We're in our rainy season, and the way that works, we have a rainy season and a dry season. Dry season is mid-December to mid-April. Rainy season is the rest of the year. But the rainy season progresses. Starting in April, a shower or two a week, and then it gets stronger and stronger. By October, you're probably looking at some rain every day. Most of the time, just in the afternoon. Yeah. November, you can get some rain out days, and then December it starts into the dry season. But this year we had a real dry season. December through April, like not a drop of rain.
Yeah, it kind of changes every year. So it has like a pattern. Not necessarily every single, let's say now we are in May, not every single May is going to be as rainy. This May has been more rainy than the year before. Mm-hmm. A year ago, May was more dry. And this year, who knows? I mean, now we have this global warming, so it kind of changed a little bit. But the pattern is always the most tough rainy months will be August to November. No, October usually.
Mm-hmm. So like I said, if you've been to the Caribbean before, you'll understand tropical rain. Yes, Panama gets between, I think it's 120 and 160 inches of rain, but typically it comes down in 2 hours in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Like most mornings here, we have sunshine.
Yeah.
And like we're up in the mountains in the rainiest area of Panama, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the sun was shining this morning as always. It's clouded over now. We'll probably get a shower 3, 4 o'clock.
So the best way to describe the weather here at times is bipolar. Basically,
Okay.
that's
Now, your limits for staying here as a tourist, you can stay 180 days, and then you must leave for 30 days. You're going to hear all over the internet that, oh, we just hop across Costa Rica for 3 days and they renew our passport. That law changed about a year ago.
Yeah.
And we personally know some people that were stranded in Costa Rica and had to get flights back to the US and stay there a month, even though they had homes here. So don't plan on living in Panama as a tourist. That ship has sailed. So your entire, you can stay here for 6 months and go home for a month and then come back for 6 months again. But the whole immigration process should take you no longer than 4 months to do.
And we'll see if in the next government, the migration will change, because right now, as a North American, you can stay 180 days. That might change back to 90 days, which most countries are, like Costa Rica per se.
Mm-hmm.
So that also can change. If it's 90 days, yeah, I mean, definitely it's not worth it, the stress and the hassle to be living in Panama under a tourist visa.
That's right. The David question, David, health insurance, what company? I went through a company called MAPFRE, MAPFRE.
It's Spanish.
Yeah, it's a I think they're the third largest health insurer in the world out of Spain. But everything is different. There are like 20 different options for your health insurance. Now, the plan I went with that made it so cheap is $1,000 Latin American deductible, which includes Colombia, and $10,000 worldwide deductible. And I did that just because it works for me. If you want a low deductible all over the world, you're going to pay more. There's worldwide, they're actually called worldwide health insurance. You can get plans up till 65 for about $2,400 a year, and that'll be 100% coverage worldwide. So there are so many. On our tour, we're going to meet with a insurance broker who's going to show all the options, give you their contact information, and they can get you quotes and all that stuff. Hey, Mike, I see your face. Thanks for joining.
Hey, Mike.
Okay, I'm going to open up the mic again. I got more questions in the chat. I'm going to open up the mics again to see who has any other questions. As I'm reading the question.
So are we going to be going to Volcan or David?
Yes, we'll be traveling through David and stopping at some of the bigger shopping centers and stuff like that. And there's, on the Wednesday, we go through Volcan, Saraputa. It's a very popular expat area, a little more laid back than some other areas of Panama. Can you maybe explain Volcan better to people?
Well, Volcan is a town. Volcan in Cerro Punta is basically known as the biggest expense of Panama, because most of the agriculture, over 75% of the goods is farmed in that area, all per se in Chiriquí. Volcan is a lot more like a farmer town. That's the best explanation to say. It's a farming town. So now it's getting transformed a little bit more into the tourism destination. A lot of people that like to move to Volcan because it's more quiet. There is more like a spread out. That's how it is, Volcan. In Cerro Punta, it's just a little bit like 30 minutes from Volcan, higher altitude, so it's a lot cooler. Sometimes it rains more in Cerro Punta than Volcan, but it's still beautiful weather. And for some people, they might want to have easiest or access to some services. Volcan is a little more, not a little, it's quite more far away than Boquete to David per se. So Volcan has some small healthcare like Boquete has, but main hospitals will be longer drive to David. So that would be like something in consideration. Like it's not, if you have like something you're in that stage, potentially you might need any fast medical attention, or if you like the convenience to do a short drive for 30 minutes to David. Now we're gonna have this year is gonna be open this big mall, huh?
Yeah.
So that also will it will take you at least an hour and a half to get there versus people in Boquete, which is 20-minute drive you there. So, but Volcan, regardless, is a beautiful spot. I like it. I love it. It's a lot of new businesses coming in, restaurants, just different options. I definitely love that place. So it's pretty much Volcan will be for more adventurous or people that want to be a little bit more
A little
quiet.
more distant, more country life, like cooler weather.
Yeah.
So it's even cooler there than here.
It's closer to the Barú. You can see actually the Barú volcano from Volcan closer than from here than Boquete.
Okay. Colleen, your question about pensionado discounts. Pensionado discounts are only available to permanent residents and citizens of Panama. So you don't get them until you actually get your pensionado visa. But the pensionado discount program was started in Panama many, many years ago, well, 15, 20, but it was only for Panama citizens. And it was when a woman reached 55 and a man reached 60, they got all these discounts. Let me show you. Oops. There we go. Pensionado discounts. They're here somewhere. Okay. I have this open up. Okay. So you get discounts on tax exemption of duties, entertainment, like the movies, you got half price. Well, it's $4 to see a movie here, so you get it for $2. 30% buses, 20%, 25% restaurants, 15% fast foods. Like the list goes on and on and on. So, but that is, if you retire early and you have a pension at 50 and move here, you get those discounts. But anyone with a pensionado visa receives those discounts. But all people, no matter what visa you came in on, like, for example, if you came on Friendly Nations, like myself, when I turn 60, I will get those visas. If I was a woman, I'll be getting it now. But I think that's unfair. Okay, so,
No, it's not.
yeah. Now, was I even sharing that? Okay, here's the list of pensionado visas.
Is everyone can see that? Or
yeah. Sorry, I muted everyone.
now, me personally, like you can use some of the discounts. You know, like some discounts are worth to use. Probably some hotels, the airplane tickets. Sometimes when you go to a local restaurant, in the meal is $3.50. If you got a discount, then pretty much you're taking away the profit of the business owner.
Yeah.
So for me, I like to be sensitive on that because it's $3.50. You know, if you go maybe to a fancy restaurant, that the meal is going to be $30. Yeah, that's worth it. But I always try to say, like, you know, like try to. This is my aspect that I'm condescending with the people here, the locals, and just kind of like I share that. Definitely, a lot of the discounts you get benefit, but sometimes it's better to have aware of kind of like consciousness about which discounts would be worth it or not to take.
Yeah, you have to ask for them.
Uh-huh.
Got a question from Bob about prescription drugs. You need prescriptions for medication for here if they are in the painkiller category or the
Antibiotics,
antibiotics or the
psychotropics.
Yeah. The yeah, like the things for like PTSD. Like I'm trying to think of some of those. But for your blood pressure medicine, for like your just regular stuff, it's all over the counter.
Yeah. Antibiotics, not all of them, but the most stronger ones will be under
But definitely the painkillers and the mind-altering type drugs you need prescription for.
Yeah.
Several beaches within the beaches. Explain your beach options from Boquete, Colleen was asking.
Well, the closest will be Barqueta, which is basically 30 minutes after you pass David. It's a windy road. It's nice, but it's not swimmable.
That's the Pacific side.
That's the
right?
Pacific side. That's the closest. It's not that swimmable. I mean, people. I mean, I'm a pretty good swimmer, and that ocean scares me a lot. And because the rip tides are really strong. The waves are very violent, and unless you're really a professional surfer or something like that. But I mean, there is some nice resorts there, like at Las Olas.
Yeah, you can pay $10
You can
for a
pay
day
$10
pass.
for a day
They got a great
pass.
pool.
They have some nice condos too, and next to Las Olas, you can buy or rent for the day for if you want to live in that area. It's beautiful. I mean, don't take me wrong, the area is beautiful, but the ocean is too strong. Now you can from there also drive a little bit longer to area Boca Chica. There's areas you can go just on the land side, like a Gavilla or Playa Hermosa, or you can take a boat to some of the islands like Bolaños, Games, Paridas. And if you go a little bit further towards Panama City, it will be from David like an hour to Las Lajas. Las Lajas is my favorite in this area because it's not so crowded and the beach is very steady. There is not that many reptiles. There is plenty of space you can walk. If you get into the water, you will be like for a long period, like the water will not pass your hips, and it's not so violent. So that will be my number one suggestion. And now it's Puerto Muelles also. There's driving distance. And then if you want to see the Caribbean, well, only 3 hour drive. You get in Bocas, and Bocas is just Caribbean side. It's beautiful.
Okay. Questions already coming through here. Bob, worldwide health plan may not include the United States if it's cheap. You're absolutely right, Bob. Anything that includes the United States costs more. But you can play with that on your deductible like I did. I increased my deductible to $10,000 for worldwide. And if I travel to the United States, I buy gap insurance for $50 that covers that deductible. So, there's lots of different ways you can do it to get cheap medical insurance. We'll talk also in Panama. I know some people that use the public system, and they have emergency health insurance for, I think they call it critical health insurance. It'll cover car accidents, heart attacks, if you get cancer, all those big things, but won't cover you for a sprained wrist or a flu or, stuff like that. And it can be, I know people 65 that are well under $100 a month for coverage like that. Okay, I'm going to open it up again before I get back to some of these. Unmute all. Okay, you're all unmuted. Let's ask the questions.
What is the best way to get phone support, like Wi-Fi, whether we get there and get a SIM card, or do we just buy a phone in Panama and get minutes? What's the best way to keep communication with home?
Okay. I would say if you have an unlocked phone, then bring it with you. And a SIM card's $1, and it's about $15 for 2 weeks of service. But still, you're going to be, you can't spend a lot of time on the phone back at home on a cell phone. I think some of them offer 100 minutes to the US now and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, so cell phone service isn't always the best. If you're traveling here for vacation, sometimes it's better to call your cell phone company and get an international roaming and long distance package for the 2 weeks or for the month.
Or the other options is using some applications like WhatsApp. Mm-hmm. As long as you have reliable LTE or 4G connection, you can talk and do video chats. And also Skype. Skype, obviously, I think is one of the most affordable.
Yeah.
I mean, WhatsApp is free. Most people here in Panama and Latin America are more Android users versus iPhone users because it's more affordable, the Android cell phones. But that will be the easiest way to get around.
Yeah, most people, and it's really funny. When I came down here, I'm a computer nerd. I've been in IT all my life. I came down here and I was introduced to WhatsApp, WHATSAPP. Never heard of it before. It has 2 billion users worldwide. Facebook bought it for $19 billion 3 years ago.
Yeah,
it's all they use down here. My bank managers on WhatsApp, my lawyers on WhatsApp. It's like, because there's no such thing as free text messaging down here or unlimited text messaging. So everyone uses WhatsApp. You can text, you can audio call, you can video call. So if you want, it's free download, install it on your phone, And when you're here, as long as you have Wi-Fi, the WhatsApp will work. And get your kids or people at home to install it there. And then that's the freeway. On our tour, we offer Wi-Fi if you need it in the van. We'll share one cell service, and all our hotels will have Wi-Fi. So I think WhatsApp is the best solution.
Yeah.
You just got to prepare people that you want to communicate with and get them to install the WhatsApp app on their phone. So
It basically is like a FaceTime.
Mhm.
Just there's the same. It's pretty much the same thing, kind of.
yeah. Mhm. Okay.
I have a related question, if I may ask. Once moving to Panama, if we want to call United States, what do you, regular phone, not a cellular phone, what would you recommend, or what people are using to call a regular telephone line?
Yeah, on a regular, well, we have regular telephone lines, the one that plug into the wall, not very popular here in Panama for personal.
Right.
All people have them. You
Yeah.
can get a home phone, that's not a problem, but you're going to pay 20 cents a minute for your long distance. Now, most cell phone companies, I know my plan, I pay $32 a month for my cell phone, and I get 100 free minutes to the U.S. If I pay $40, I get 1,000 free minutes to the U.S. So if you do call the U.S. a lot, there's better options on cell phones than there are landlines for calling the U.S. Because really, like my $32 plan is unlimited data with 16 gigs of LTE speeds. Like you can't get that in the States for that. And I think it's 1,000 minutes in Panama and 100 minutes to the U.S.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I use is a cell phone.
Gotcha. Yeah, thank you. That sounds good.
No
Hey,
problem.
Oscar, this
Yeah.
is Dave in Seattle. So you've lived in Panama and Costa Rica. Can you a little bit compare and contrast?
Yeah, well, Costa Rica, tourism-wise, is a little more ahead than Panama in some degree. I worked there most in the hotel industry in between 2006 and 2009. I lived for a little bit in San Jose and then in Manuel Antonio, where I work in this small luxury hotel called Gaia. That's how I got to learn my English. That's how I got to learn about hospitality. And previous that I was studying hotel management in Colombia, but I just like to jump ahead and go to the experience, full experience. The culture, people is similar, but it's very interesting because Colombians were more similar to Panamanians versus Costa Ricans to Panamanians. Maybe because we share some history, maybe is that. But Costa Rica culture is very also unique, sweet people. They're very tourism oriented right now because they had adopted tourism as a strong economy versus Panama is still like in the gray zone. It's a potential for tourism, but also is in international investment. That's why all the banking is very famous here in Panama. But Costa Rica culture is amazing. I learned so much there. I love my Tico people.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm going to back up to the earlier question. Gavita also mentioned that services like Magic Jack are also quite usable, any type of voice over IP system, if you want to retain a US number. Many of you do. Many of you have kids and grandkids and you want a US number. Magic Jack's a great option. It's cheap. I think it's $50 for a year as a service. And you plug it, you register at home, you plug it in your computer, get your US number, and bring the little device with you and plug it into your computer here, and you have a phone.
Yeah. Sorry to everyone. I gotta just add something else of the question about the difference between Costa Rica and Panama. Me personally, when I was living in Costa Rica, it was very complicated to get residency. I forgot to mention, that's quite important because Costa Rica, a lot of people retire, but it's more expensive and not as friendly like Panama when you want to move and become a residency. That's the strong point. Costa Rica would be a beautiful spot to visit when you want to take a break of Panama and go somewhere else, or Colombia or Nicaragua. But that's the deal killer is the Panama is still, no matter what, more friendly to become a resident.
Yeah, I've heard people talk about even the people here are more friendly.
Yeah.
Like you cannot walk down the street and pass the Panamanian without saying hello to them because they've said hello to you first. And it's a very, very friendly country. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, depends if you're in a small town, sometimes in the city, but
Yeah.
pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I unmuted you all for a second here. If anyone wants to jump in and ask the next question or topic or what concerns you about Panama.
Yeah, one question I have is about safety. Can you discuss a little bit more about safety? And also, uh, do you, let's say you buy a house, do you recommend to have like a security system or something like that?
Zion, was your question about Texas?
In Boquete, okay, particularly in Boquete, living in Boquete, what is the safety situation there? And secondly, what is the, you know, if you buy a house, for example, do you need to have a security system or something like that?
Understand. Okay. I had this here. I want to show you guys something. I told my friends and family.
I think you need to mute the people because there's so much.
Yep, there we go. Thank you. When I told my friends and family I was moving to Panama, they were pretty shocked. Okay. Oops, the page can't be displayed. Okay, give me a second here. So when I started my move, I went to the site called nationmaster.com, which has tons of information. Now I just got to find out categories. I don't know why my LinkedIn worked. I saved that.
Well, one thing I will.
There we go. Found it.
Okay.
Okay. Now you should all be seeing my screen right now. And if we look, this is the total crimes in a country per 1,000 people. Now, if I look at my own country, of course, Canada. Can you see? Hey, oh man. Yeah, Canada is 80. They're number 10th on the list. United States. I should have just made a chart. 49 crimes per 10,000 people. In Panama, 6. Now, on the ranking list, yeah, Panama is at 64th, and U.S., Canada is in the teens.
Colombia is still pretty good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's total number of crimes per 1,000 people. So you're less likely to have a crime against you here than you are in the USA. Now, still, yeah. That being said, you need to be vigilant.
Yeah.
You don't I have bars and gates on my doors. I have a gate around my property. I don't want people coming in. So,
like I will say, as a good Colombian will say, you do not give papaya. It means don't put yourself in a situation.
Exactly.
Basically, if you live in a gated community, like per se Valle Escondido, it's pretty hard. Anybody's gonna break in, and I haven't seen in the last years.
Yeah.
But if you live in local neighborhood, you want to take some precautions like some motion sensors. Why not some night vision cameras? So people know it's kind of like a prevention to take that. Let's say people like making it harder for even think about it. But here is unless you put yourself make an easy target, nothing is going to happen to you.
Yeah, I'm always vigilant. If I go to an ATM to withdraw $500, I'm going to look over my shoulders. But I also lived in Vancouver the last 20 years before I came here, and that was not a safe city. I've had my vehicle stolen several times, my home broken into. I haven't had that stuff happen here, but just for example, there's a poorer class and a middle class and an upper class. I live more like the middle class. I had my propane tank stolen out of my yard last week. Stuff like that happens.
But it was no way. It was
easy to me in 7 years. I made it easy. I didn't have it chained up. So here, come take my tank.
And it was easy to come over the fence. So
yeah.
But it's just minor things. Shit happens sometimes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Setting up a personal bank account here in Boquete, yes, we can do that for you. You have to be here though. There are several requirements. If you want to know the list, Bob, you can email us, info@retireandpanamatours.com, because there's a whole checklist. There's things like you got to bring a bank reference letter. You got to have an income type statement or tax returns or something like that. And if you're not a resident yet, you have to open the bank account here in Panama with $1,500 cash. But if you're a resident, then it gets a little easier. But we do know a bank in town here that will open up bank accounts for foreigners, even Americans. And you do have to realize that Panama follows FACTA laws. So your information will be reported to the U.S. government every single year of what's in your bank. And so, okay, so we got, anyways, that site I showed you, nationmaster.com, if you're doing research on multiple countries, it shows cost of living in comparisons of all these countries. It shows crime statistics, disaster stuff, natural disaster stuff. So it's a good source of information if you're looking to become an expat. I had put on here what I have, basic utility charges. Yeah, so what it's going to cost you to live. If you look at under basic utilities, Panama is $40 a month, where the U.S. is $120 a month. South Africa is $90 a month. You'll see all the. I'm not going to bring you through each one, but you'll see all those figures there. Okay. Next, on our tour, you will have an option. You will talk with the bank personally, and I don't see the need for people to open up a bank account on the tour unless they've already made the decision that they're moving here. But it could be done. But the best, it can be opened up in a few days. It takes 3-4 days to once you've moved here if you want banking here.
So we're going to have like 25, 30 people. Is 4 enough? I mean, it's not supposed to be a main dinner. It's just supposed to be like appetizers.
Richard's having a party. Okay. You guys got any other questions?
Hey guys, it's Tim Conley. How are you?
Hey Tim, how are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I'm getting pretty close. I'm going to be heading down your way on June 5th.
Perfect.
So, and I'm moving down with my dog, and I'm kind of dealing with COPA right now to get all of that taken care of. I used your information that you printed, about bringing your pets to Panama. And they have changed a few things, but I'm talking to a woman that's been real good with working with me. I do know that at the time when we were originally talking, you mentioned that there's a company or a group up in Panama City that will meet you at the airport to help you with the getting through the veterinarian and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you had that information.
Yeah, I got a couple. So just send me an email, Tim.
Okay.
And I'll get that over to you. So, yeah,
all right.
The most important thing to make sure your arrival flight is during the regular time. Because if you arrive at 10 o'clock at night, you're out of luck. Your pet's going into quarantine.
Right. The flight that I'm coming in, I'll get in at 4:57. I purposely checked that out.
Yeah, and the bank there is open until 8, so you can go get your deposit and stuff like that as soon as you get in.
Right. So anyway, I'll go ahead and send you an email on that, and I do appreciate your help on that.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I look forward to coming in and meeting you two crazies when I get there shortly. And you're probably going to get to know me well. So just a fair warning, guys.
Perfect.
Looking forward.
All right.
Yeah, I'm a transplanting musician coming down to Boquete.
Lots of there's lots of open mics.
Oh, I know. I've been to several of them already, and I was lucky enough I made it down to the Blues and Jazz Festival this past year.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Okay. What other questions do you guys have?
I have a question about renting.
Yes.
I was, since we need to rent before we live there, if we've decided that we want to come in November, time frame to rent, what is the best time to really secure a place? Is it, we're going to stay a week after the tour, wondering if that's a good time to find the city we really want to rent in and go find a place then, or just come back sometime between then and November. Do you have any suggestions on all of that?
Yeah, Mary Ellen. Most places go really fast here.
Yeah, because in November, December is when a lot of people are coming to rent for part-time. So it gets busy. It really gets busy. Get pretty much all the good deals get taken.
So it depends if you want to rent. If you talk about renting for 6 months or a year, like securing a deal like that you can do a little earlier. But if somebody has a place for rent in July and you don't want to rent it till November, they're typically not going to rent it to you because they're going to want the guy in July. So what a lot of people do is they decide to come down here and they book a Airbnb for a few weeks, or even move into one of the short-term rental places. There's lots of places you can rent here for a month, and 3 weeks, 5 weeks, and then they start doing the rental hunt because there's always things available for rent. But people want them, okay, you rented, you're moving in next week type of a thing. You're coming on our tour. Of course, we're going to help you. We'll keep you posted of all the new stuff, especially the unadvertised stuff that's available here, depending on what you are exactly looking for. But even like staying here after the tour now for renting in, unless it's one of these short-term places that you can just book for 6 months.
Yeah.
So,
and most people rent it for 6 months or a year when it's long-term.
Yeah, those are going to be the more expensive places, like the Airbnb.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Plus, we have the complication of animals, so it's not as easy to just come down not knowing exactly where we're going, I guess. And
I think once you get a feel of it, we're done the week, and we should have that discussion then, and just try to, keep you posted. I can show you all the places online that people rent.
Okay.
The Canadians and the foreigners and stuff like that, and so.
Awesome. That helps a lot knowing that. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I know we're going to be there, so we're definitely going to want them.
Okay. All right. Any other questions you guys got? We're almost got an hour up here. What else did I have on my list? Oh, do I have anything in here? Yep, new message.
I have renting a car in after the week is over. We'll be back in Panama City, but don't know whether it's cheaper, better to rent locally. Like if we take a bus from Panama City to Petitsi or something, or Coronado, and then renting a car in that city would be better. You have for that?
The car rental thing is kind of, I think it's run by the mafia here. You have to buy insurance.
Yeah.
Your credit card, I don't care if you got a black Amex, it does not cover you here. So you're going to pay $35, $45 a day to rent a car, cheaper if you rent by the week. So it doesn't matter if you're at the airport or if you're in Santiago or here.
But important thing to know is if you're renting the car, let's say in Petitsi, and you want to return in the airport to Cumin, you're going to pay a big fine, like an extra fee, like close to $200 drop off there. So
okay.
Very important to the logistics. If you want to rent a car, let's say in Panama City, for you to drive around and then drive back to Panama City before you head back. Or in David, you are around Chiriquí, perhaps Piraguas, but you come back to David to drop off the car and then take a flight or a bus to Panama.
Okay. From Colleen, is it true that you need an attorney to do your pensionado visa? It takes about 4 months and that it costs about $2,000. No, yes, no. No, you do.
It depends on the lawyer.
You could do it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. If you speak fluent Spanish and know everywhere to go, it will be it's not worth it. Most of the fees there don't go to the lawyer. They're government fees and stuff like that. $2,000 is very high. Well, for a couple, $2,000 is right for the pensionado. Well, $1,200, $800 for the second thing. The friendly nation's a little more expensive, and plus the corporation. But the 4 months timeline is about right. You'll get your temporary in what, 3 weeks?
Yeah, very, very quick. The temporary residence is very quick.
Which allows you to go home. You pay an extra $50 and you get this entry stamp on your passport, so you can go back and forth if you want.
And with temporary residency, you can also get a Panamanian drive license, which you'll be able to drive any vehicle. Only you have to make sure is your U.S. or Canada drive license. You have to register at the embassy in Panama City. So, and they'll give you like a certification, and then with that certification, you go to like a blood test to where's your blood type, photo, and a private office of Certras, and a small test, and then they will just get your driver's license type C or D.
Yeah, driver's license is pretty easy. The weird thing is you're allowed to stay here for 6 months in Panama on your passport, but you can only drive for 90 days. So most people get the temporary and then go get their driver's license. Okay. Question.
What about buying a house?
Foreigners can own real estate. You can own real estate as a resident. Also, there's really no restrictions on you buying a house. We on this tour don't recommend people buy a house when they first live here. Like, you really want to know that you found the neighborhood and the town or city that you want to live in.
Yeah. Unless it's something like a really, really good deal. Like, actually, I don't know.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you have the cash and it comes around like a good deal and happens that you have a good feeling at the same location, yeah, why not?
Yeah. On our tour, we're going to meet with a real estate company, one of like what we feel is the best in this country. They have offices in Coronado and Boquete. You're going to get personal one-on-one with them and share your contact information and any other questions.
Very good advice you'll get from them.
Yeah.
Definitely will take care of you in the best way possible.
Okay.
That sounds good.
All righty, guys. Up to our hour of here. Any other questions?
Thanks for your time, guys. Look forward to seeing you in a few days.
All righty. So we're going to sign off. If you need anything, info@retiredpanamatours.com. Check out our blog. I write on there 2-3 times a week, all kinds of information, pictures, stuff like that.
Thank you so much for going to join
Thank you,
us.
guys.
I hope to see you for those that are coming next week to our tour. Looking forward, very excited about it, and I hope that some of you can join us in the next tour. Or if it happens to come on your own and have a coffee.
Yep. Check us out. Call us up. All righty, guys. Have a great day.
Very informative, well organized.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.